let's move on to the next team. And we're going to go out to Vegas and talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, again, Megan, who is not here tonight, so we ain't going to pick on her too much, but she gave them 2 wins. Megan Price, let me just say, you were wrong. The Las Vegas Raiders. But listen, I wasn't that better at 4 wins. Ty wasn't better at 5. John at 6-11. Mike at 8-9 was the only one giving them a chance. Here's how they fared. And Mike, you were the guy, so I'm coming to you first with this. Since you were the closest man to the bullseye with regard to predicting their schedule, now you added Davante Adams. So, sir, talk to me about the Raiders, and I'll pull their schedule up in just a moment.
Yeah, no, I mean, last year I even said, in spite of John Gruden and it's been dysfunctional. I know they said Mike Mayock was kind of Gruden's puppet, but we all know what happened with Gruden. He's gone. But I mean, Tyree kind of convinced me that last year because when you gave us, because we did it way early, but when you gave us a chance to do it, I went one more win because of Derek Carr. And now you bring in, like you said, Davante Adams. They bring in Chandler Jones and they re-signed Max Crosby. I mean, Chandler Jones was just disenchanted the last half of the season here, and he still played pretty decent because they weren't working contract-wise with him. I know he opened up with the 5 sacks in Tennessee. But yeah, for the Raiders, I mean, that's a huge signing. You put him on the other side of Max Crosby, or even if you shift and you line those two up next to each other, it's one of those things where this defense, they can help the secondary out because that was kind of their weak link last year. I mean, it got better, but that going into the season, it was kind of I won't say their question mark on defense. And you know what? When they got pressure from that line, and I think defensively, again, with Chandler Jones, they'll take another step forward. But you get Davante Adams. I love Darren Waller. I mean, he's, we're talking about Kelsey, and I know Kittle's been injured, but Darren Waller, I mean, this kid is freaking lights out as a tight end. I think Josh McDaniels now is more prepared to be a head coach. He's not going to draft Tim Tebow, as we all know, or bring Tim Tebow in for a tryout. But no, I like what the Raiders did. I mean, they had to win the last 4 to get in the playoffs. They go 10-7. I'm going to leave them I'm going to say they go 10-7 again. I just think, again, I have to give a number. I mean, I think they could go, I mean, again, if they all split in the division, which I believe they will, I think it's going to be 3-3. Like I said, maybe somebody's 4-2, but I mean, if they can get to 11-6, I mean, it'd be insane, but I like 10-7 for them with more so leaning towards 11-6, but I say 10-7 for the Raiders.
All right, Ray, I'm coming to you, and let me go ahead and pull up the schedule one quick time so everybody can see what we're talking about here. And again, this is a team that in the first 5 weeks, they've got an early bye at week 6. In the first 5 weeks, they are playing every team within their division. So we're going to see what the Raiders are like by their bye week, who they are and what type of team they're going to be. But Ray, talk to me about the Las Vegas Raiders, sir.
I have them right there with Kansas City at 11-6. I said earlier, all 4 teams could possibly win 10 games. I gave them all the benefit of the doubt of 3-3 within the division. I got them losing at the Rams late in the season. I also have them losing one of 2 of these games. They're either going to lose at Pittsburgh or they're going to lose at New Orleans, who I think is going to be sneakily good this year. And they're going to lose at Tennessee in week 3. Shout out to Mike Patton, who's in the comments. And we're not talking AFC South, and I don't want to take that route. But I don't know where all this disrespect for Tennessee came from. Like, it's just Derrick Henry. Like, Derrick Henry missed most of the season last year, and they just kept chugging along, winning games, and was the number 1. Like, they're going to play defense and play. Not just you, Eric, the masses.
I'll tell you where my disrespect comes from. I'll tell you where my disrespect comes from.
By all means.
When A.J. Brown come to Philly and Julio Jones done left, all you got is Derrick Henry. So I'm just saying, bro, find me some wide receivers that are going to be able to be those complementary pieces. And we'll talk about that at the AFC South. But you ask where disrespect comes from, I'm telling you that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, they ain't never been that game, no way. Not Ryan Tannehill under center. Like, the game is give it to whoever in the backfield and run the ball, right? So, but I thought, man, listen, you heard it here first. Derek Carr is a sneaky MVP candidate. Because everybody loves quarterbacks. And he should put up a ton of numbers this year. Like, quietly, Oakland has one of the best cores. Like, Hunter Renfrow, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Jacobs. Like, he got weapons everywhere. Like, if they let him go out and play, and he's slinging that thing all like you, I could see 4,700 yards. I could see 35 to 40 touchdowns. I could see it. Like, people forget just a couple years ago, they went 13-3, and Derek Carr was the MVP candidate just 2-3 years ago. And now he got weapons. He got a guy who many say is the best receiver in the NFL. We're going to see what he look like not without A-Rod, right? But we already know Derek Carr can play. Now he got him a legit top 2, top 3 receiver with Renfro and Waller. Like, they're going to be really good. I'm not all that excited about the defense, but 11-6.
All right, John Shear, you're up,
Yeah,
my brother. Talk to me about these Raiders.
They're going 8-9. I mean, that schedule is brutal. And what? They're going 8-9. They
Go ahead, John.
Oh wait, are you done? Are you done? All right, they're going 8-9. I mean, if you look at who they lost, they have no idea how to play defense on the back end. They lost Casey Hayward, who was the only thing they had at cornerback, and replaced him with nothing. They have nothing at corner, and they got to play in the AFC West. Then they got to go and play the NFC West this year. Like, how are they gonna stop people throwing on them? It's a passing league, and they have zero answers to stop the pass. Max Crosby's not going to have another historic year like he had last year. Like, come on, that ain't happening again. Like, he had a really nice year, but he ain't doing that again. There's nothing on that back end. And y'all talk about the offense, but you got to be able to play defense in this league. It don't matter if you can score 35 points because the other team's going to put up 42 on you. So they're going 8-9. They can't play defense. And I don't think Devontae Adams is going to have like a historic season. Like, he's never had to share the ball as much as he's going to have to share the ball with the Raiders because of all the weapons you guys mentioned. And I don't know how he's going to respond to that because this is the first time in his career where he's actually got to share the ball with a ton of different people instead of getting 125 targets or something crazy like that. Like, he ain't getting
literally
that
just was
year.
Playing with a top 5 running back.
No, but like, look at all the weapons. You just mentioned all the weapons. He never had to deal with that in Green Bay. Like, he was the only receiver. Don't mention Scanling. He sucks. Don't mention Lazard. He sucks.
Whoa.
Like, those guys are trash. Like, they had running backs and Devontae Adams. That's it.
Wow.
They didn't have anything else in Green Bay. They have weapons with the Vegas Raiders.
So, John,
like,
you feel as though because he's not going to be targeted as much, you feel that there's not going to be innovation in his game. You don't feel like Devontae Adams is going to.
I think it'd be helpful, but statistically, like, I don't think he's going to have like he had in Green Bay because he's got to share the rock, and he's not used to that. Megan, get out of here with your 2 wins. Get out of here.
That's why I'm over here coughing.
Yeah, I got 8-9. That's what I said. And you literally came on here and said Derek Carr, sneaky good MVP. He might just be able to win MVP 47 yards. Get out of here, Ray.
Okay, let me get Mike in here, and we'll come back to this. Mike, go ahead, brother. Talk to me about the Raiders. Go ahead, Mike. Oh wait, you already did. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying,
it's just me. My bad.
Yeah, that's you.
Sorry. I'll take my time. So when I look at this, and again, as I stated, the first 5 weeks of this season, Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, they're going to have to put their game faces on because they get an early bye, which means week 7 through 18, there is no time to rest. There is no time to kind of figure it out. You got to get it together because you got 12 games that lay before you. And if you are going to contend in the toughest division, as we're all saying it is in the AFC West, you're going to have to bring it each and every week. That game against Indianapolis, I think, is going to be very telling. The game against the Patriots, Sunday Night Football, is going to be another very telling game. But the game that I want to see, the matchup that I'm looking at is, and Ray, to your point, it's that on that short week, that week 14 matchup at the Rams. I think the Raiders-Ram matchup week 14 is going to let us know if this team is durable enough to get to the postseason and possibly further than they've been in quite some time, shall we say. So, I mean, we're looking at 8 wins. We're looking at 10. We're looking at 11. You know, Mike, very rarely do I agree with you, and you know I hate when I do it, especially during this time of year, but I agree with you. I feel like something about that 10-7, because there are going to be games that we always listen. There's always going to be a trap game. We know it. There's always a trap game where we just expect one team to just dominate the other, and what happens? It is a close game until the very end, and whether it's a last-second field goal or someone makes a careless mistake or a minor error and it's a judgment, whatever. But I'll go with you and say 10-7 with regard to the Raiders. But John, I do disagree with you. I feel as though Devontae Adams, he may not have the prolific numbers that he's had, but he is still going to be a top 3 wide receiver in this league come the end of the season. You can disagree all you want, but that's how I feel.